And good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of USPBL Baseball on the USPBL YouTube channel. The Utica Unicorns play in back-to-back nights here at Jimmy John's Field as they battle the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in this division matchup. Thank you for joining us today. This is Leo Ortel, and in a second, I will be joined by my broadcast partner, Rich Borland, as we will bring you tonight's action. This game will be the third game so far of this Memorial Day weekend, and we have seen some exciting matchups so far. Back on Thursday, the Mammoths broke out of their offensive slump and beat the Beavers, who struggled offensively, as the Mammoths won by a final of 10-5. The Beavers played again last night, this time taking on the Utica Unicorns, who you will see in a second. The Beavers' bats slumped again as the Unicorns' right-hander Donald Goodson was lights out, as he tossed 7 innings of shutout baseball while giving up just 3 hits and striking out 4. Although the Beavers' left-hander Jerry Salisbury kept his team in the game by throwing 6 innings and giving up just 2 runs, the Unicorns were that much better offensively thanks to production from the bats at the bottom half of their lineup. Coleman Poche, Adrian Guzman, and Colin Rideout all tallied RBIs as the Unicorns triumphed in shutout fashion with a 4-0 win in a game that spanned just 2 hours and 10 minutes overall. As we have already mentioned countless times already throughout this young season, pitching has dominated so far in the 2019 campaign. We have seen some excellent pitching this season, and we're only beginning to see what some of these arms can do at the front end of this season. What are we expecting tonight, you might ask? Well, if you haven't guessed by now, we're in for another pitcher's duel. Utica gives the nod tonight to their prized right-hander Spencer Stockton, who has yet to give up a run in 2 starts this season and has struck out 14 batters in just 12 innings of work. For Eastside, the right-hander Luis Contreras will start on the bump. The former USPBL Player of the Week back in week number 1 has struck out a league-leading 16 batters so far this season in just 9 innings and led the Hoppers to a win in the first game of the season back on May 10th. It has been all Unicorns so far this season as they find themselves at the top of the standings with an incredible 6-1 record. To give a strong comparison, the rest of the league has just 6 wins combined. As the experienced Jim Essien looks for his first championship as a manager in the USPBL season with the Unicorns, Paul Nochi of the Diamond Hoppers will look to get his Hoppers back in the win column. The Diamond Hoppers currently sit at second in the standings with a 2-3 record and have interestingly finished second in the standings in the first 3 years of baseball at Jimmy John's Field. After finally reaching the championship last season and falling to the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, they are even hungrier this year as they look to fight for the top spot against the top team in the Utica Unicorns. And now I'm going to send it over to you, Rich, with some more stats on tonight's starting pitching.
We only had a game last 2 hours and 10 minutes last night. It was an absolute gem from Donald Goodson, the Detroit, Michigan native. He was stellar in the start, and we're expecting the exact same thing tonight as we have, you said it, Leo, the 6-1 Corns against the 2-3 Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Spencer Stockton, he's got a 4-seam and 2-seam fastballs that'll mix in about 50% of the time. Occasionally he'll bring in the changeup and slider to compact with that. Stockton, as you mentioned for a second there, Leo, on the season, he's 1-0 through 2 starts, has yet to give up a run in the 12 innings pitched, just 3 hits allowed. All of them have been singles, just 3 walks to 14 strikeouts, batters hitting .079 against him. The Wellington, Florida native, ecstatic to get his 3rd start of the season. And on the other end of it, Luis Contreras, a 4-seam fastball that he'll throw 60% of the time, and then the curveball he'll throw about 24% of the time. He'll mix in the changeup occasionally, and then has a slider that he'll go to once in a blue moon. But like you said it, he's the league leader with 16 strikeouts in just 9 innings pitched. First pitch strikes 25 to just 17 balls on the season. The thing that separates Stockton from Contreras is the extra base hits. On the season, Stockton yet to give up an extra base hit, and then Contreras on the year does have a couple, a triple and 3 doubles he's allowed to the competition this year thus far. So we'll see if Contreras can stand pat with Spencer Stockton, who is at the top of all the categories here in the 2019 USPBL season. But for now, we'll hand it down at the home plate for our nation's anthem. And when we come back, we'll have first pitch here on the WCSX Classic Rock Saturday on a gorgeous night here at Jimmy John's Field.
And our military with the singing of our national anthem, sponsored by the Detroit Medical Center DMC, and performed this evening by the Michigan Chamber Chorale.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's
Another rendition of our nation's anthem underway, which means baseball is on the horizon. 2-3 Eastside Diamond Hoppers and 6-1 first place Utica Unicorns getting ready for this Eastern Division matchup on this gorgeous Saturday night for baseball. Rich Borland and Leo Ortel with you once again. We talked a little bit about Spencer Stockton, who's been tremendous for the Corns in 2 starts. His opposition, Luis Contreras, a man who was in the Cubs organization at one point in time, a 1-1 record through his first 2 outings. His ERA sits at 5.0 as he's gone 9 innings, allowed 5 earned runs on 11 hits, just 3 walks, but 16 strikeouts, good for the league lead. He's going to try his best to get some swings and misses tonight. His batters are hitting .289 against him this year, as he's allowed the 3 doubles and 1 triple as the Pembroke Pines, Florida native gets ready to go in this one. First start for him against the Utica Unicorns. He's pitched against the Beavers and the Westside Woolly Mammoths thus far. His last outing on the 18th, just about a week or so ago. Only went to 4 innings, allowed 3 earned runs on 6 hits, had 3 walks and just 6 strikeouts compared to his outing on opening night against the Beavers, where he had 5 innings pitched, allowed just 2 earned runs on 5 hits, but the kicker, no walks to 10 strikeouts as he was dominant in the debut. Got him the first victory for any pitcher in the 2019 USPBL season. Quickly, though, the lineup going against him for the Corns tonight. It'll be the Waterbury, Connecticut native getting things started. Number 9, the second baseman, Kyle Benecke, batting second, the right fielder. Had the night off last night as it's number 21, Dan Elliott. Batting third, the left fielder, number 0, Larry McCabe. He's out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Batting in the cleanup spot tonight, that's Dan Williams. He gets moved up a spot in the lineup as he started in all 7 games thus far, the Houston, Texas native. Austin Maltby, who hit an absolute moonshot last night, about 370 feet to left center field. Just his 4th hit of the season. The Gilbert, Arizona native trying to get things going in the 3rd weekend of the season. Batting 6th in the designated hitter's role tonight, was in the lineup last night but got scratched a couple hours prior, so hoping to see some good things from Cole Lee Curry, the Jackson, Tennessee native. In the 7th spot, the center fielder, the hitter of the night in the contest, Coleman Poche, who was struggling, to say the least, going into the matchup last night, was 0 for 16, but now he's 2 for 20. He had a single, a double, and he drove in a run, as well as coming in to score, the Georgia native. Colin Rideout, batting 8th, the third baseman from McHenry, Illinois, and rounding out this lineup, another man who did tremendous in the contest, who normally known for his glove, that is Adrian Guzman, the shortstop out of La Puente, California, doing things at the bottom of the order. He was going into the contest last night, Leo, batting .211, and after the 3 for 4 night, he's now batting .304. So a change, to say the least, there in the just past 24 hours, but we are officially ready for baseball. Contreras is warmed up, ready to go, and we're excited for this one. The contest last night lasted just 2 hours and 10 minutes long, as we see another possibility to have a quick one this evening, as we got 2 of the best on the bump between Contreras and Stockton. We're ready to go up here in the booth. Hope you are too. Pleasure to have you all join us in this 3rd of 5 games on this Memorial Day weekend. We're ready to go. Kyle Benecke standing in from the left side. Benecke, one of just 3 players to start all 7 games for the Corns. 8 of 28 on the season. First pitch at just 7:01 tonight here at Jimmy John's Field. Stockton getting the strike called. 78 degrees. Couple of clouds in the sky, but there was about an hour and a half of rain from about 4 to 5:30 or so, but skies have cleared, and it's going to be a great night for baseball. Meanwhile, Kevin Watley, nonchalantly with the spin around, tossed to first. One of the best defenders in the league, the 2018 USPBL Defensive Player of the Year, showing his glove early on in this one, getting things going. Benecke is retired, 1 up, 1 down.
Yeah, it may look like the routine play to some people, but that is not routine by any means. Kevin Watley makes it look very easy out there at the shortstop position.
So now standing in, Dan Elliott, one of just 2 guys in this lineup that did not get the start just last night. The Willoughby, Ohio native, standing in, fouls off the first pitch that he sees. Contreras on the season, 107 strikes to 57 balls on the season. A great ratio there for the right-hander, but his previous outing not as good as his first. Looking to bounce back tonight in this one as he faces off against the Unicorns for the first time. Breaking ball dropped in there at 73 miles an hour. Dan Elliott not able to do anything. He admires it as it crosses over home plate, and that curveball, part of the reason that Luis Contreras has affiliated experience. It's some gnarly stuff. Meanwhile, ready to go again here with the 0-2 fastball. 91 misses upstairs. It's 1-2.
Yeah, on those last two pitches, Contreras showing off his pretty much high and low velocity, 91 on that fastball. He'll top out with that fastball about 92 or 93, and then with that curve gets down to about 72 or 73. That last curveball was 73. Looks like he went to the changeup there, which will sit around 80 to 81. We just saw 82 on the gun for that one. So early on, using all three of his pitches, which is what you want to do in the first inning. You want to get the feel for every pitch in your arsenal.
The 2-2 to Elliott. Fastball, 91, nowhere close. Tommy Lukongo remains in his seat, sticks the arm up, lets it ride by as the count now ranging full. Good job from Elliott to bounce back in this one. Contreras going to have to battle here with one out, nobody on.
Yeah, it's been a good season for Elliott so far, 294, also 455 on base percentage, so a good hitter in the 2 spot in this Unicorns lineup.
Yeah, Elliott, as he fouls off the 6th pitch of the at-bat, 5 of 17, but here's the thing, all 5 hits have been singles. Elliott last year did have a good amount of home runs.
Yeah, 5 total.
We're excited to see him get the power into action as the year goes on. The average is there. Now you just got to put a little bit more on it. Won't do anything this time around. Contreras freezing him on that inside pitch. Looked to be that changeup once again as the second batter, second one down, 2 up and 2 down for Contreras. Good start for the right-hander as expected, as he'll now deal with Larry McCabe, the Coker College product. 263 batting average on the season, 5 for his first 19. Was 1 for 3 last night against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Singled, walked, actually stole a base as well, as he's now 1 for 2 on the base paths, but he's got to get there first. The left-hander with a wide open stance keeps it there as the 91-mile-an-hour fastball at the top of the strike zone swung on and missed. You're going to see that a lot from Contreras tonight. Likes to keep it upstairs as the heat out of that right hand. Tough for any opposition to catch up to as McCabe from the left side trying to get things going for the Corns in this one. Contreras missing low. Good eye there from the left-hander to bring the count even.
And we just touched on Dan Elliott's extra base power, which he hasn't really shown off this year, but Larry McCabe definitely has already 1 home run and 1 double on the season. Showed off his power last year with Coker with 10 home runs in Division II ball. Also 41 runs batted in.
Part of the reason he's up there in that 3 spot tonight, right, and that's where he'll be about for a majority of the season. The power's there, average not bad, but 263, something he's going to want to get up just a bit, batting in that 3 spot, but a man who looks like he's going to be sticking around for the entire season here with the Corns. Contreras, meanwhile, brings it upstairs at 91 again. He's been consistent up there in the low 90s, but back-to-back strikeouts and the Corns in the top of the first. Contreras looking sharp. We'll see if Spencer Stockton can do the same as we head to the home half. We're scoreless. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the home half of the first we go. Rich Borland, Leo Ortzel with you. Just 13 pitches for Luis Contreras, 9 of them for strikes alongside his 2 strikeouts to start this one. Spencer Stockton, arguably the best prospect in this league through the first couple of weekends. As we mentioned in the pregame show, a 1-0 record, 0.00 ERA through his 2 starts, 14 strikeouts in 12 innings, averaging over a strikeout per. Only 3 hits allowed, no earned runs. All 3 of the hits have been singles. Batters hitting .079 against him. The Wellington, Florida native looking sharp, and let's hear the defense behind him.
Yeah, in left field it will be Larry McCabe. In center field, Coleman Poche, who made an excellent diving catch yesterday. Didn't just show it off with the bat, also with the leather. Dan Elliott in right field. Across the infield, Colin Rideout at third. Adrian Guzman, another good defender for this Unicorns team. At short, Kyle Benecke. At second base, Dan Williams at first. Of course, Austin Maltby behind the plate hit that home run yesterday. And Spencer Stockton, like you said, on the mound. Should be a great pitching matchup.
Pat Adams, the hometown kid out of Warren, Michigan, fouls off the first pitch that he sees. Stockton, like Contreras, hitting upstairs with that high 80s fastball. Adams lets it ride by. The count even at 1-1. Adams on this season, he's been the bright spot for the Hoppers offensively, as that one misses well inside the 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Adams, a .381 batting average, 8 for 21 through his first 6 games with the Hoppers. On Sunday against the Beavers, he was 1 for 3 with a double, as this one well in on the hands brings the count even to 2-2. I thought for a second that bat might have busted, and in fact, it looks like it did. I knew I heard something down there.
Like it did, yeah.
Not the exact crack of the bat you want to hear.
Nope.
As he's going to have to go get some new lumber, but that gives us some time here as Stockton, talked about it in the pregame show, he's got both fastballs working. Throws the 4-seam 32% of the time, while the 2-seam in there at 23%. But it's that changeup is the off-speed pitch that has been thrown 21% of the time that he loves to go to. And that slider about 11%. He'll bring that around occasionally. As Adams would be probably the most successful hitter you would think tonight. That's why they have him up at the top of the lineup, as no one else has an above 300 batting average for these Eastside Diamond Hoppers. And in fact, as we take a quick look, in second place right now, it's Kevin Watley, who's batting .211.
Yeah.
You get a big drop there, .381 all the way down to .211. Clearly something that they're going to want to work on, but that's kind of been the story of the 2019 USPBL season, starting pitching.
Definitely, and going back to just talking about the Hoppers bats, just a 182 team batting average, just 1 home run and 11 RBIs. Hard to win games. They've played 5 so far, and obviously that unfinished one.
Adams, meanwhile,
That ball is gone. We have the wind blowing out currently to center field. Definitely helped that ball. But Pat Adams showing off his power. Had a home run last season, but this is his first of the season. I was just mentioning the Hoppers came into this game with just 1 home run. That's Kevin Watley with the home run. So that's exactly what Paul Noce wants to see out of his Hoppers today. A great start.
Unicorns have been arguably perfect on the year.
Yep.
Just that one blemish there with the one loss is Wesley Jones, the beer batter of the game, looks at ball 1 after the foul ball. Count even at 1-1. The Lithonia, Georgia native does have affiliated experience with the Colorado Rockies as he looks at ball 2, the count 2-1.
Yeah, Brian Davis, like you said. Excuse me. What's that?
Wesley Jones there looking at
my mistake on that.
2-1. All good. Getting things going here early on in the home half of the first. The slider, mentioned how Stockton barely brings it, but that one looked good there. Jones swings right through it. Another slider, this time past the diving second baseman, Kyle Benecke. Into right field it goes, and that means beer. So if you're in the bathrooms or up in the suites, head down to the Sherwood Brewing Company. $5 craft beers for at least the next inning, as Brian Davis standing in. He's definitely trying to get that average up. Looks like it's a good night to do so, and what has been a shock to start off this night for Spencer Stockton, who's allowed 2 hits, almost as many as he's allowed the entire season in 2 starts, and look at that. Wesley Jones over there. 3, and for good reason.
Yeah, great jump right there for Wesley Jones. Kind of caught the Unicorns off guard. Probably weren't thinking that he was going to swipe the bag. Usually something you look for maybe on the second or third pitch of the at-bat. But it pays off.
Meanwhile, the Pensacola, Florida native Davis looks at the second ball of the at-bat. The count 2-0 on the Florida A&M product. The thing for Davis, he was cruising last year in 2018 for these Hoppers, but it's been a slow start for him as he takes a big hack at the 2-0 off-speed offer out of that right hand to Stockton. Just a .053 batting average. 1 for his first 19 coming into play tonight. 7 strikeouts. The one positive offensively for Davis as he leads the team with 5 walks as this one into left field. Larry McCabe having a possibly tough time to start to see that baseball, but Corrales underneath it, finds it. Good enough for out number 1. That wind, though, bellowing out to right center might have had something to do with the awkward route there that McCabe had taken. Davis is retired via the flyout to left for out number 1. Stockton gets his first out of the night after allowing back-to-back hits.
Yeah, and something interesting to mention as well. This is the second time that the Hoppers have seen Stockton this season. They saw him back on May the 12th, which he threw 5 innings, giving up just 2 hits. He's already given up 2 hits here in the first.
So here comes Bryce Peterson, the right fielder. Fouls off the first try. The Washington native coming to us from Rollins College. 1 for 2 in the game on Sunday against the Beavers. He's one of the 6 players to start all 6 games, batting just .190 though. 4 for his first 21. Yet to have an extra base hit. But he does have 3 walks. The 0-1 to Peterson, called strike right down Broadway. The thing that Peterson's going to want to work on. Mentioned how he's got 21 at-bats. 10 of them have been strikeouts. So he's been striking out about 50% of the time. And he's got a tough count here against Stockton, who's got him 0-2. Brings the cheddar upstairs, 89 on the gun. But not a bad spot. That was somewhat close to the top of the strike zone, but well inside, so Peterson lays off of it as the wind really heading out there to right center, as you can see on the camera, as that flag continuing to blow as Stockton stepping off, getting ready for this one. The 1-2 to Peterson. Fastball hit to the hot corner. Over there is right out. Gives a look over to Jones at second. Ends up keeping him there. And then the 5-3 putout is recorded. Good job there for the Corns defensively. Hard hit ball, but it was hit right over at third, which obviously if you're Peterson, you try your best to get it to the right side of the infield to at least have your out go down in the books is something that helps your team, but it will not be able to do that here. Zachary Gray standing in, the first baseman out of Hamilton, Ohio, who batted 7th in the game on Sunday against the Beavers, moved up into the 5 spot here tonight as the backdoor breaker called for a strike. 0-1 the count here on the left-hander.
Yeah, Gray entering the game leads the team with 4 runs batted in. Just 2 Hoppers in this lineup have 2 RBIs or more. Gray's one of them. Had those 2 RBIs on May 12th against the Corns. He was 2 for 4 in that game with those 2 runs batted in, but hitting just 143. So he's looking to turn it around against Spencer Stockton.
Ground ball, chopped back up the middle. Stockton having to sit on it, and he almost... of the Corns 1-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. through one, and as we break back into the action going into this top of the second inning, we saw the off-the-bag throw from Stockton that ended the home half of the first inning, and it drew Dan Williams off the bag. He came up limping and, in fact, will not return to this baseball game. Tough sign there for the Utica Unicorns as their top hitter gets taken out of the game. It'll be Dallas Oliver, who was given the break tonight. He's going to have to slide right back into the action as he looks at a breaking ball on the 2-0 pitch. Luis Contreras with just 13 pitches through the first inning, 9 of them for strikes, alongside the 2 strikeouts, allowed nobody to reach the bases, as Oliver, meanwhile, 3-0, aggressively swinging. It's going to stay in fair territory, and that is a big blemish there. Skip Essien can't be all too thrilled. You're getting a 3-0 count. You're that close to a leadoff walk after your ace of the league finally has a blemish in his season. You got to get base runners on, especially with the type of speed that Oliver has.
Yeah, that's right.
Undisciplined at bat there after it looked as if Contreras was going to have his first walk of the night and just his 4th of what would have been the season, but Oliver pops out into foul territory over there to the first baseman, Zachary Gray, for out number 1. Meanwhile, Austin Maltby now standing in. The Gilbert, Arizona product hit that massive home run in the 6th spot of the lineup last night that carried 370 feet to the left of the scoreboard into the trees, and it was actually hit 104 miles an hour off of the bat. As you see the sun just screaming here onto the field, as that shade, you're going to see it in all of these 7:05 starts for the first couple of innings as the sun continues to set here in Utica, Michigan. It's been a tremendous night for baseball weather-wise, as Maltby ready for the 1-1. Not so much, though. Well behind that 90-mile-an-hour fastball as Contreras working it tonight. We mentioned the defense for the Corns in the home half of the first. Hoppers, it's Caleb Davidson in left, Pat Adams in center, Peterson in right, Wesley Jones at the hot corner, Watley, the everyday shortstop, Geely over there at second base, and then, of course, Zachary Gray over at first. Tommy Lukongo squeezing the baseball for out number 2. Nice frame to retire Maltby. Quickly, 2 up and 2 down for Luis Contreras, and it's a good sign for the Hoppers, as we mentioned. Contreras with a tough start compared to how he opened up the season at the USPBL with those 10 strikeouts and 5 innings pitched. Mentioned earlier on, in his second start against the Mammoths, allowed 3 earned runs on 6 hits in just 4 innings of work. Looking much sharper tonight as Coley Curry looks in at the fastball, called for a strike on the inside part of the plate.
Yeah, he's definitely going to look to go at least 5 innings tonight. You'd like to see him go maybe 7 or 8 if he can extend his start that long. Pretty efficient first inning already with 3 strikeouts. And I don't know if you saw in that last strikeout, Rich, he shook off the catcher Lukongo a few times through that fastball. It kind of just froze Maltby up there. So already having the hitters guessing, kind of unsure what the Unicorns' approach is so far.
Meanwhile, Curry standing from the left side, ready for the 1-1. Upstairs, 89, missing. Curry on the season, he's played in 5 games, batting .318, 7 for his first 22. Does have 6 RBIs to his credit, but no opportunity with anyone on the base pass with 2 outs. Contreras trying to go back-to-back perfect frames and get strikeout number 4. This one missing just a bit low inside. So a favorable count for the Jackson, Tennessee native, Western Kentucky University product. Same school as former Birmingham Bloomfield Beaver, a standout over the last couple of years in Hunter Wood, who was doing the catching for Chris Newell's team over the last few years. Meanwhile, the 90-mile-an-hour fastball on that outside part of the strike zone. Curry a pinch behind it. The designated hitter trying to make a name for himself. Doing good thus far for the Corns. The second-best batting average on the season behind that Daniel Williams. But if you're just joining us, Williams, who started this game, ended up coming up awkwardly at the end of the first inning on a catch, covering the first base bag, hoping he's all right. Meanwhile, Geely with a miss kick. USPBL YouTube channel. To the home half of the second we go. Caleb Davidson, the starter for the Hoppers in the home half. First pitch swinging, as a lot of these aggressive batters do in the Independent Baseball League, trying to make a name for himself, but sometimes it goes against them as the leadoff man is retired. The China Spring, Texas native popping out to the second baseman, Kyle Benecke. 1 up, 1 down. Better start to this frame for Spencer Stockton compared to the home run he allowed there off the bat of Pat Adams. But here comes Kevin Watley, the man with the second best batting average on this team at just .211. 4 for his first 19. And another first pitch swinging. This one could carry out with the wind. Oliver at the track, at the wall, making the catch as his back makes contact with that right field fence after the fact. Watley was trying to take advantage of that wind bellowing out to right, but instead 2 up, 2 down on 2 pitches. Could we see some history if Freddie Geely elects to swing at the first pitch? I always remembered back in my days at Macomb Community College, our pitching coach told us at the beginning of the season, unfortunately it won't happen here tonight as Geely looks at called strike 1. He always promised us that at any point, if any of you pitchers pitch a 3-pitch inning, I'll take you out for a steak dinner, something that does not happen all that often. But look at Stockton here, not messing around for a second. Quickly, Geely down in the count 0-2. And I'd be shocked to see Stockton not go right after him here as the 8-hitter Geely trying to make something happen, and he will. A liner out into left field, was sitting on the fastball, and he takes it over there as he rounds first, thought about second, but that ball thrown in from the left fielder, the center fielder, Coleman Poche, as the Hoppers get their 3rd hit of the night.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a pretty short inning. Now the 3rd hit for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Freddie Geely, who was batting just .182. Good to see him add a hit to his hit total. It'll be Tommy Lacongo, the catcher, up here for Eastside, hitting in the 9 spot. Just a .190 hitter this year, but does have 2 runs batted in. One of 2 Hoppers on the team with multi-RBIs.
So here comes Tommy Lacongo, man out of St. Bonaventure. Batting .190 on the season, was 0 for 3 in the contest on Sunday. As he looks at ball 1 to begin this at-bat. Stockton with 22 pitches through the first frame, trying to not have to go back to the top of the order in this home half of the second. The 1-0 ground ball to the left side. The shortstop, Guzman, with the easy force out at second base. He takes that one unassisted for the 3rd and final out. As we get through the order through 2 innings for the Hoppers, they take the 1-0 lead to the 3rd. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We're through 2 at Jimmy John's Field. Rich Borland alongside Leo Ortel. Back out there for his third inning of work. Luis Contreras cruising through 2. 28 pitches, 16 of them for strikes. 3 strikeouts, no walks allowed. Coleman Poche, the Elijah Georgian native, standing in. Looks at called strike 1 to begin the frame. Had his best night of the season against the Beavers in the contest, as last night 2 for 4 with a double, a single, as he got his first knocks of the year, as he's now 2 of 20. Quickly, though, tries to hold back on the check swing, but called strike by the home plate umpire, Corey Wacker, as the 0-2 to Poche. Swung on, foul tipped into the mitt of Lacongo for out number 1. Contreras cruising, already with 4 strikeouts against the first 7 batters.
Yeah, excellent performance once again thus far for Luis Contreras. Like you mentioned, Rich, 4 strikeouts already. Had 2 in the first, 1 last inning, and 1 here to start the top of the third. And it will be Calvin Rideout. He had a good game yesterday, 2 for 4 with 2 singles, as it was, as we mentioned, the Unicorns, bottom of the lineup, that gave the offense a spark.
This one carrying towards the corner and left. Colin Rideout, first pitch swinging, taking it the opposite way, but out there Caleb Davidson making the catch for out number 2. Quickly 2 up, 2 down, and Luis Contreras doing everything he can to get through this order perfectly through the first 3 frames. Mentioned how he had just 28 pitches coming into this third, currently sitting at, let's take a quick look, just 32 now, as Guzman, who mentioned 3 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs last night, looks at called strike 1 to begin the AB. 7 to 23 now on the season with 3 RBIs and 2 singles. As Guzman from the right side, breaker, lot on that, a lot of cutting action, but too far inside as the count evens up at 1-1. As a couple of goose eggs up on the board there for the Unicorns.
And Guzman, 3 hits yesterday, 2 RBIs, hitting in the 9 spot again. We talked about how he could have been maybe promoted in the lineup today, but they keep him in the 9 spot, like you said, Rich, as kind of a double leadoff hitter. He's got some speed, not only a good defensive shortstop, but also showing off the bat this year, hitting above 300.
Contreras bringing the heat, 91, paints the outside black, brings this count even at 2-2. Contreras, the Pembroke Pines, Florida native, mentioned during our pregame, is this one hit to center field on a line, is Pat Adams ranging back, catching that one over his head on the run. Nice athletic play as the Unicorns down in order the first time through. We had the home half of the third. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you as we're through 2.5 at Jimmy John's Field on this gorgeous Saturday night, WCSX Classic Rock Saturday, and so far a classic pitching matchup. Spencer Stockton, the man who hadn't allowed an earned run, any runs by the first 12 innings in his first 2 starts. Pat Adams back at the top of the order for the Hoppers, allowed the first home run there and first run of the season against Stockton as he led the home half of the first with a solo shot. And that's our score at the moment. Pat Adams delivering to begin this game off, but looks at 2 straight outside. Stockton with 29 pitches through the first 2 frames. 19 were for strikes. He doesn't have any strikeouts or walks at the moment as the 3-0 called for strike 1.
Yeah, he's worked efficiently so far, and Pat Adams got to him as the first batter of the game. Just 1 home run last year, but showing some early signs of power.
As the 87-mile-an-hour fastball missing outside. So we'll see if that pattern continues for Stockton in this inning, missing 3 pitches well outside against the left-hander Adams. And now Wesley Jones standing in 1 for 1 with the single and the stolen base to his credit already in this one. 3 for 3 on the pace pass this year. The Rockies, former Colorado Rockies prospect, I should say, now here with the Diamond Hoppers trying to get back into affiliated baseball. No better place to be if you're trying to get back to that stage. For those that don't know, through the first 3 seasons at Jimmy John's Field, 27 players getting picked up by Major League affiliates, and there he goes. First pitch swinging, Jones. Back-to-back singles for him. Runners now at first and second for the Hoppers. Wesley Jones providing the cheap beer tonight, and a lot of maybe new Hopper fans in the stands tonight.
Went with that pitch right on the inside part of the plate there, sent it into left field, already 2 for 2 for Wesley Jones, who was struggling, came in with a 208 average, so good to see him already with a multi-hit game.
So here comes Brian Davis looking for just his second hit in 6 games. Chops one to the right side. Dan Williams' replacement, who's over there at that first base bag. That's, of course, number 24. That would be Elliott. McCabe. Larry McCabe, who had started this contest in left field, now over there at that first base bag. Dan Elliott going from right field to left. Then, of course, Dallas Oliver now over there in right field as he entered for Dan Williams. As standing in now, Bryce Peterson. Chopping one hard over there to the left side. The hot corner is, of course, Colin Rideout making the play, but that means Pat Adams comes home to score as the Hoppers now in front 2-0. Wesley Jones getting over there all the way to third base. So Brian Davis, Bryce Peterson, both with a couple of slow choppers to the corners. Good enough for the first 2 outs. As now Zachary Gray standing in. Speaking of infield grounders, he grounded out back to Stockton that took Williams out of this game that ended the home half of the first. As he works the count 1-0 against Stockton to begin this at-bat. 88-mile-an-hour pitch missing low as the count now favorably at 2-0.
Yeah, already good to see the Hoppers with that 2-0 lead. May not look too pretty with the Peterson ground-out RBI, but still puts your team up 2 and also makes it a little bit more comfortable out there for Luis Contreras going out there next inning. Just to have a few runs, maybe attack the strike zone a little bit more and work more efficiently.
Stockton trying to hit that zone, gets the called strike as Zachary Gray was ready to waltz down to first, but instead, home plate umpire Corey Wacker giving him the benefit of the doubt. Stockton just tremendous coming into tonight's action with those 14 Ks and 12 innings pitched, but starting to look more like a human in this contest tonight, but he brings back the 3-0 count to full with 2 outs as he's desperately trying to keep the Diamond Hoppers below the 3 runs through the first 3 innings, but not if Zachary Gray has anything to say about it. Was over 3 in the game on Sunday. Just 3 of his first 22 at-bats. This one lined into right field it goes. The Hoppers offense showing up tonight. Jones coming in to score the second run of the inning for Paul Nochi's crew, and he's got to be happy as Zachary Gray with the, now count it, 5th hit of the night for the Hoppers as he gets an RBI knock. Unicorns 6-1 coming into the contest tonight. Same amount of wins as the other 3 teams have combined throughout the first couple of weekends.
Yeah, this is a good sign for the Hoppers offense, who entered with just 11 runs batted in total, 1 home run on the season. They now have 2 after that home run to Pat Adams in the first. Just a 182 average entering the game, and already here with 5 hits as this one is popped up to the left side behind home plate.
Underneath it is Austin Malpe. Catches that one in foul territory. Caleb Davidson popping up for the second consecutive time, but not before the Hoppers can string across a pair of runs, take the 3-0 lead into the 4th. Contreras will face off against the top of the order when we come back. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the top of the 4th we go. Luis Contreras back to work. First pitch swinging. Kyle Benecke, as he's 0 for 1 on the night with a ground out to shortstop. Now 0 for 2 with that fly out to left. 0 for 2 now on the night as Dan Elliott standing in. Went from right field to left field in this contest. 0 for 1 with a looking strikeout as Contreras absolutely cruising through the competition to start this one, as fastball at 90 miles an hour, just missing by a hair on that inside part of the plate, as Contreras doing everything he can out there in a tremendous bounce-back start after a tough outing just about a week or so ago against those Westside Woolly Mammoths, who got their first win of the season back on the 18th of May against these Hoppers, as Elliott now even at the count at 1-1. Contreras, one of these guys who we might not see the entire season in an Eastside uniform. Mentioned earlier on in the broadcast how we've had 27 players signed by Major League affiliated teams, and one of the players that was in a Utica uniform back in 2017, that was Randy Dobnik. he's actually made his way all the way up into AAA. He was picked up by the Minnesota Twins organization back in August of 2017. He was at some point signed to the Elizabeth Twins, making his way up through Cedar Rapids, as well as, of course, then going to the Gulf Coast League Twins. Ends up making it to the Pensacola Blue Wahoos on May 2nd of 2019 from the Fort Myers Miracle, as, of course, Elliott going down with the strikeout for out number 2. Quickly 2 up and 2 down for Contreras, but he's now with the Rochester Red Wings, the AAA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins, and he's pitching tonight as he is making his AAA debut. The game at the moment is delayed, but might be the first player that we could see out of the USPBL that makes it on a major league roster. That's right. As Larry McCabe, now standing in, fouls off the first pitch that he sees.
Yeah, he's currently making his debut against the Pawtucket Red Sox, who actually have Erasmo Ramirez out there pitching against him. And right now, Randy Dobnik is showing him up. The game is delayed right now, but Dobnik has thrown 2 innings, giving up just 1 hit and 1 earned run, as the Rochester Red Wings are leading in the game 6-1. So definitely something to keep your eyes on would be Randy Dobnik.
Yeah, the Minnesota Twins have been a favorite, if you could say, here at Jimmy John's Field, the organization that has picked up the most players out of the USPBL. But yeah, Randy Dobnik could be the first USPBLer to make it on a major league roster, and what a major league roster he could join, as those Minnesota Twins at the top of the standings in all of Major League Baseball. They've been out of it for quite some time, but I'll tell you what, they're about some of the best talent in all of Major League Baseball. Is McCabe ready for the 2-1. Fouls off that fastball upstairs at 91 over our heads in the press box, but tell you what, Luis Contreras with at least 1 strikeout per inning tonight, had 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and he's already got 1 here in the fourth, so looking for strikeout number 6 against his just 12th batter of the night.
Yeah, this is already looking like a better start for him than it was his last time around, as he struggled a little bit going just 4 innings.
And look at that nasty breaking pitch, that curveball that he goes to 24% of the time. Larry McCabe swinging out of his shoes on that one, as we're through 3.5. Hoppers out in front 3-0. They're coming up to the plate with the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We're through 3.5 at Jimmy John's Field. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. It's Kevin Watley, Freddie Geely, Tommy Lacongo due up against Spencer Stockton, as the 0-1 to Watley popped up just on the edge of the outfield grass as Benecke underneath it, making the catch with ease. 1 up and 1 down. Stockton through 3 innings, not having a bad night. 44 pitches, 26 for strikes. Doesn't have any strikeouts, but he has allowed just the 3 runs as he's being efficient with his pitches. There's just been some timely hitting for the Hoppers with some runners on, as Freddie Geely, a man who uses his speed to his advantage, trying to show bunt, but pulls it back to start off his AB. Singled to left center field back in the home half of the 2nd inning when he was down in the count 0-2. Chops this one over to not even some of the greatest could maybe keep that one in front of him. I mean, I know Bill Buckner would have probably let that one go, but it's going to be a tough call here for the official scorer as Geely reaching first base safely, and we'll give you the word as soon as we hear it. In fact, it looks like they do give him a base knock, the 6th hit of the night for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. As standing in now, the 9th hitter, Tommy Lukongo, 0 for 1 when he reached on the fielder's choice that ended the home half of the 2nd inning.
It's been a tough start to the season for Lukongo. 0 for 3 in last game, which was the suspended game against the Beavers last Sunday, and hitting just 190 with 2 runs batted in.
That one sailing into the right field patio area brings the count even at 1-1. Lukongo on the season 4 for his first 22. But all of his hits have been singles. A guy who more known for his defensive prowess behind home plate. Doesn't have a ton of pop, as he has yet to have a home run in his USPBL careers. This one lined into center field, right at Coleman Poche. Freddie Geely taking an extra step, thought about third base, maybe test the throw of the center fielder, but back-to-back base knocks for the bottom of this Hopper roster as Pat Adams standing in, yet to have been retired tonight, 1 for 1 with a home run, an RBI, a walk, and 2 runs scored.
Adams with that home run back in the first, and then last time he was up, Spencer Stockton was kind of pitching around him, drew the base on balls. So it has been a great day for Pat Adams. Now the chance to drive in a couple of runs here with first and second.
This one, meanwhile, well out in front of that changeup was Adams. Gets it with the end of the bat as it's fouled off just to his right. Stockton having issues compared to what we've seen thus far. I was talking with the director of baseball operations, Justin Orenduff, prior to the start of this one as the 82-mile-an-hour pitch swung over. Adams down quickly 0-2, but he said, Stockton's been looking great. Contreras looking really good as well, but it's only 2 starts.
That's right.
The batters are still trying to get back into the swing of things, going into the summer. He's trying to get hot. It's been pitching throughout the first 2 weekends. We saw the Mammoths in just their 2nd win get to double digits on the scoreboard just the other night, and saw some offense last night as well as the Corns getting their 6th win against those Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. But Adams, meanwhile, down in the count 1-2. Stockton desperately looking for strikeout number 1 on the night. He's not going to get it here. It's past the diving second baseman, Benecke. Into right field it goes. And he's now 2 for 2 with a home run, a single. Count it 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored alongside the walk.
Yeah, we're not really seeing the same Spencer Stockton that we have in his first couple of starts. He had 14 strikeouts in just 12 innings pitched coming in. Does not have a strikeout. His command just does not seem to be there. Has only walked the 1 batter. He'll now hit Wesley Jones. But just the 1 walk, but seems like he's kind of hanging some pitches right over the heart of the plate, Rich, and the Diamond Hoppers are definitely taking advantage of it.
Yeah, it's a tough outing for Stockton compared to what we've been able to witness through the first couple of weekends, but somebody's got to lose, Leo. So we'll see exactly how the rest of this one fares out. But at the moment, it's Luis Contreras' night as Bases are now loaded. Lukongo at third. Adams in scoring position at second. Jones with the hit by pitch. Reaches base safely for the third consecutive time alongside his pair of singles. And now Brian Davis standing in. First pitch looking. Ball one misses downstairs. And as we take a quick look through this lineup, there have been, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 batters that have yet to get a base knock. Davis is one of them. This ball hit hard, and it's past the first baseman. Not only is he the team leader with the batting average, but he also is a defensive, not so much of a liability compared to now what looks like McCabe at first. He's having a very tough night. Got to imagine that one would go down in the books as an error, but
looks like it went as a hit, actually. Seems like it would. Went under his glove. I don't know if he touched it, but
I don't think he touched it, but
shouldn't matter.
Either way, you got to be able to make that play as a pro player. So Davis reaches base safely, which for at the moment says single, but we'll be the quick judge of that in just a little bit as we get through this one. Jones over there at third now. Adams comes in to score as the Hoppers now in front 6-0. Lukongo coming in as well. Peterson, meanwhile, over two with a pair of groundouts, 2 right out at third. Slider outside corner. Perfect pitch there for Stockton, which is a good sign. Even in the heat of the moment when you're struggling, you can still make your pitches. One that he only throws 11% of the time, that slider. So, hey, sometimes it's not your predominant pitches that are working. You got to go to your backup plan, and that's what he has done here against Bryce Peterson with a third consecutive slider. This one a little bit lower. Good eye there from Peterson to not swing through.
And the Hoppers seem to have Stockton's number more so, obviously, than they did his first time. So Stockton now, later in his start, getting up in pitch count, trying to mix it up, going with back-to-back-to-back sliders.
This one into center field. Mistake after mistake have given the Hoppers just tremendous advantage in this one, as Brian Davis getting over to third, Peterson all the way to second base, as the Hoppers now with 4 runs in this home half of the fourth, and Spencer Stockton falling apart in this one. Going to be his toughest start of the year, I'm guessing, as he's definitely got the stuff, just getting hit around tonight, accompanied by a couple of mistakes defensively. It's never a good recipe.
As defense definitely not backing him up. Just the one error, but really 3 mental and physical mistakes in this inning have led to a few more runs that probably should not be up on the board.
This one fouled off by Zach Gray. Brings the count even at 1-1. Had the RBI single back in just the inning ago in the third. That ended up driving in Wesley Jones. Stockton, the 1-1. Outside fastball at 88. That one missing, as taking a quick look down in that right field bullpen. No one is necessarily getting completely loose, but it looks as if Sam Cottingham Beard is starting to toss the leather around, as the pitch to Gray on the 2-1 misses the zone. Now 3-1 on the Hamilton, Ohio native, trying to get his second consecutive hit in this contest, but he won't do it here. Fastball fouled off right behind home plate. Now brings the count full as Spencer Stockton, who came into this fourth inning with 44 pitches, 44 through 3, not a bad night.
Nope.
But now facing off against the 8th batter of the inning. Tough stretch here, as he allowed the 1 home run to Adams in the first inning. Didn't have any issue in the second outside of the single from Geely, but 2 runs in the third and now 4 coming across in this home half of the fourth. It's been tough, but he has a nice 83-mile-an-hour changeup swung on and missed there from Gray. Good enough for out number 2. As you got to look at the positives, but Davidson, the 9th hitter of the inning, coming up to the plate, hoping we don't have to cancel out the 5 and keep it to 4 in our scorebook, as Stockton still dealing with a world of trouble with a couple of diamond hoppers on the lily pads.
And that was just his first strikeout there. We haven't seen too many swings and misses so far from the Hoppers. It's really been a different hitting team than how they entered the game. Not a lot of offensive production, but finally Paul Noche's Hoppers breaking out 9 hits and 7 runs so far.
This one missing well away, evens the count up at 1-1. Mark Wiedemeyer, the manager of the Westside Woolly Mammoths, had to have been happy with his team getting double digits in their game early on that started this weekend, as now Paul Noche, who coming into tonight, his team having just one batter batting above 300. Davidson with the .83 batting average coming into play tonight. Hits a single into right. Coming in to score is Peterson, as well as Davis. Just an onslaught here for the for the Hoppers, as Davidson with 2 RBIs with 1 swing of the bat. Hoppers just unloading on the Unicorns on this Saturday night.
Yeah, obviously not the same Stockton that we've seen. They're going to keep him in there for now to try to finish this inning, but definitely frustrating. Just does not have the stuff tonight.
And the thing is, he started this inning off with an out. First pitch swinging. Kevin Watley, who's back up to the plate for the second time tonight, popped out to second base. That started this frame. Since then, 3 singles in a row, a hit by pitch, another single, a shot to center field on a line that was dropped by Coleman Poche, and then Gray striking out for the second out, but Davidson right back at it with 2 RBIs with a single over there on first now. Just an absolute debacle for the Corns in their first, what looks to be the first tough loss of the season.
It's going to be tough to come back from 9. It was tough for the Beavers the other night against the Mammoths, who put up 10 runs. They were trying to fight back in the end of the game, but only put up 3 runs. And just momentum-wise, tough for the team. And so far, with Luis Contreras on the mound, it's not looking too good for the Unicorns.
Yeah, Watley on the 0-2, looks at one, lets one go. Looked darn close. And Stockton desperately trying to get out of this frame. That one, outside corner, that one missing as well. He was painting on those last 2, but home plate umpire Corey Wacker not giving it to him, as you kind of got to earn that strike zone, and he's been throwing strikes tonight. Just a lot of contact from these Hoppers. Stockton, 2-2. Ground ball, left side, and this one, Guzman trying to make the force out at second. As he'll face off against Oliver, Maltby, Curry. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the 5th we go. Hoppers, if you're just joining us, putting up a 6th spot in that home half of the 4th. It'll be Oliver, Maltby, Curry, to start things off for Utica as Luis Contreras just 47 pitches through his first 4 frames, and he continues on into the 5th with back-to-back strikes to Oliver, who entered this game for Dan Williams after the first inning, as Williams was hurt on the last play of the first inning, as the 0-2 missing low. But Oliver on the night 0 for 3, popped out to the first baseman Zachary Gray in foul territory on a 3-0 count. That was not a good sign there, as he's now down in the count 1-2. Through the first 4 frames, Contreras with 6 strikeouts, no walks allowed. It's that one, some late cutting action, almost getting a piece of Oliver, as the count evens up at 2-2.
And back-to-back breaking balls there. The first one was in the dirt. He was trying to freeze him up there on the inside. Curveball. See if we'll go back to the fastball here.
Breaking ball. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's an MLB-type curveball. And Dallas Oliver, victim number 7. 3 straight strikeouts for Luis Contreras continuing on into this 5th inning. And we talked about his opening day start, 5 innings, 10 strikeouts, in what we thought was one of the best starts of the season. But he is just demolishing his first start of the year. Now count him 7 Ks against the first, 13 batters. 7 out of 13 men have struck out here tonight, as the first pitch to Maltby fouled off into the protective netting. As the Hoppers with a tremendous lead of 9-0. Contreras trying to just cruise along in this one. The 0-1, that one inside as well. Maltby almost wearing that one, as the Hoppers in their home whites, Unicorns in their away purple uniforms, the gray bottoms. Contreras rocking the high socks. Maltby standing in from the right side, trying to make something happen for the Corns, as the run column, not just the only one with a 0 in it, as the 1-1 swung on and missed. It's now 1-2 on Austin Maltby.
He's got the Unicorns hitters just guessing up there. It seems like at this point a lot of swings and misses. We thought last at bat he might go back to the fastball, but through 3 straight breaking balls, just hard to predict what he's going to throw.
And there it is, another strikeout. 4 in a row now for Contreras. 8 on the night. 2 up and 2 down here in this top of the 5th inning. And Lee Curry, the Western Kentucky native, let's try that again, in there as the designated hitter tonight. 0 for 1 with a ground out to second base, when Freddie Geely made that miscue, but came back from it and beat Curry to the bag. As first pitch, this one inside to Curry on the right side. So Contreras kind of making these hitters uncomfortable with a lot of inside stuff. It's where you really want to live as a pitcher, because even if a man at the level of independent baseball makes contact with one of those inside pitches, they're not going to get good speed on that comeback. As a 1-0 breaking ball, probably one of the first bad pitches we've seen out of Contreras tonight, as it's left upstairs and out of the strike zone.
Each batter in this inning has almost been hit. Oliver to lead things off. It was a curveball inside. Now Maltby and Curry both with fastballs inside, but Curry's standing pretty close to the plate there, kind of at that left side of that left-handed hitting batter's box. So he's playing to his advantage there. Contreras is trying to attack him inside. Maybe notices that he doesn't have the bat speed to maybe take something into right field, which is why you want to attack inside.
Contreras, the 2-1, fastball just a hair low at 92. Curry with a good eye there on a close pitch, working a good hitter's count. In this season so far for Contreras, he's only had 3 3-1 counts. Got no counts, with a 3-0 coming into play tonight, as he fights back in here. The 3-1 fouled off. Curry, you saw him there kind of beating himself up on the helmet, as he thought that one might have been ball 4, as the Corns desperately trying to get a base runner in the contest tonight, but it has been fairly tough. Contreras with a couple of shakes, the nod of the head, the payoff pitch, swung up. To the home half of the fifth we go. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. The day is done for Spencer Stockton, the man who had 14 strikeouts through 12 innings pitched through his first 2 outings. Only 3 hits allowed that were all singles, and batters were hitting .079 against him coming into the action tonight, but a whole different side of the story. Stockton goes just 4 innings, allows 9 runs, 8 of them earned on 10 hits. Also had a couple of walks in the night, just the one, but either way, Hoppers with an absolute onslaught as Freddie Geely stands in to begin the home half of the fifth against the right-hander Sam Cottingham Beard. Meanwhile, Geely working the count 2-1, fouls off the next pitch as the count now 2-2 on the hometown Troy, Michigan native.
Yeah, it's been a good day for Geely so far. The 2 singles, 1 in the second and 1 also in the fourth. To give you a little background about Sam Cottingham Beard, his second year now in the USPBL. Last year, 11 games for the Unicorns, 15 1/3 innings pitched, 5.28 earned run average, 15 strikeouts and just 4 walks, so striking out about 1 batter per inning and a pretty low walk count. So a guy that has pretty decent control, but he'll look to have a better season this year.
Yeah, Sam Cottingham Beard as Geely continues to battle with a couple of foul balls on the season, though. Sam Cottingham Beard with that 6 ERA, even though his record is 1-0. He's got 3 relief outings on the season, 3 innings, 2 earned runs on 3 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. To his credit, batters hitting just .250 against him, but just the 1 blemish on the season thus far. A couple of weird hops tonight as one second baseman hits it to another. Geely with some of the most speed on any of these rosters hits one softly to his counterpart Benecke, who was playing deep on Geely in that outfield grass. Ends up retiring him on a bang-bang play at first. Nice call by our first base umpire, Mr. Gary Wagenschutz.
Now, we have seen some tough hops in the infield, and most of those in favor of the Hoppers. A few errors we saw last inning. A bad hop over the head of Larry McCabe, who's now at first base. Just the 1 error last inning for the Unicorns, but really there was 3 mental mistakes that led to a few runs that should not be up on the board. 9 runs for the Hoppers. They put up 6 last inning.
Meanwhile, Lukongo looking at the second pitch of the at-bat for called strike 2. Lukongo not a bad night. Singled and came in to score in that onslaught in the fourth as the 0-2 85 off-speed pitch misses low and in. Lukongo trying to get that batting average up from last season. It sits just shy of 200 coming into tonight. More known for that leather behind home plate. This one makes it into the leather. Austin Maltby for called strike 3. 2 up and 2 down for Sam Cottingham Beard in this one. Appreciate everybody tuning in on this Memorial Day weekend Saturday contest, as tomorrow on the eve of Memorial Day we'll be having these Hoppers back in action against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. It'll be, of course, our Sunday fun day, but big day tomorrow, Leo. Hope you're not allergic, but it's Bark in the Park, as there's going to be hundreds of dogs in attendance as Pat Adams stands back in there. So we're going to have a fun day tomorrow, and JJ the Field General, I got to imagine, is going to have a riot with all of his buddies in attendance.
Yeah, he won't be the big dog in the park. Maybe he'll still be the big dog, but not the only dog, that's for sure.
Adams, meanwhile, trying to get something going here in this home half of the fifth as the outside fastball misses on that outer third. Sam Cottingham Beard pitched more in the back end of the bullpen last year. One of those guys that came in late as this one slowly rolled over to the right side. Benecke, a surefire defender out there. He makes 2 out of the 3 plays as Beard got the other with the looking strikeout for out number 2. But Hoppers go down in order in the home half of the fifth. They lead it, though, 9-0 as we head to the 6th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We're through 5 at Jimmy John's Field. 9 runs for the Hoppers, a goose egg for the Corns, as it'll be Poche, Rideout, and Guzman for the Corns in this top half of the 6th. Big fly into shallow right center field. Freddie Geely, the Troy, Michigan product, making the catch with ease for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down on 1 pitch. Luis Contreras absolutely cruising as he's trying to look really sharp, you could just say, through the first 2 times through the order as Rideout 0 for 1 on the night with a fly out to left field. The Tennessee Wesleyan product on the season. A .286 batting average coming into play tonight. Was 2 for 4 in the game last night with a pair of singles. Looks at called strike 1 to begin this at bat. It was the bottom of the order yesterday.
That's right.
That the Unicorns were able to put some runs on the board as the 0-1 to Rideout. Line drive into left, and it's fair. Perfect game, not intact any longer, as it was earlier on last weekend. The counterpart, Spencer Stockton, had the perfect game through 5 innings, and it was in the top of the 6th where he allowed the first hit of the game, and it was a single that lined into the outfield. So for the Hoppers, starter Contreras was looking absolutely just tremendous through this one. Does allow the first hit of the game. It's a double down the left field line. We'll see what he can do to react to the bump in the road.
Yeah, not surprising that this hit came at the bottom of the lineup yesterday. All of the RBIs coming from the 6 through 9 hitters in the lineup, as it was a great offensive day for the Unicorns. Not the same story, obviously, so far through this one. Just the 1 hit. Adrian Guzman yesterday, who's up to bat now with that first home run of the season. Also 2 RBIs in a 3-hit game for him.
Guzman ready for the 1-0. Contreras brings it. Fastball at 90. Touches the outside black. Evens the count up at 1-1 as the La Puente, California native doing everything he can offensively, as that batting average went from 211 to 304 in the matter of a day.
Yep.
As he went 3 for 4 last night with the home run and the pair of singles. This one lined into center. Pat Adams is going to have to get on his horse for a second. Catches that one on the run as the ball thrown in. Good job of Geely to leave his position and keep that ball from strolling out of the way to maybe allow the base runner to move up. Rideout, though, stays at second as Adams makes the catch for out number 2. So we go back to the top of the order. Maybe Contreras can have a one-hitter through 6, but, man, were we starting to just think about it, but that's usually when something happens, and that was my one goal that I would love to have on the season, is to be able to call a no-hitter or a perfect game.
Absolutely.
But will not be tonight. Benecke, meanwhile, looking at the first pitch, Tommy Lukongo almost catching Rideout off guard, as he loves to try and backpick base runners, as he did that plenty of times last year as the man behind the plate for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, technically the only catcher named on this roster.
Yeah, I definitely like the approach from Lukongo with 2 outs. You want to keep that runner on second as close to second base as possible. You're trying to limit him from scoring on a base hit.
Breaking ball off the end of the bat of Benecke. He was questioning for some reason on God knows what, but tell you what, the double from Rideout ends the perfect game and no-hitter for Luis Contreras, but just the one blemish on the night as he was almost perfect. We head to the home half of the 6th. Hoppers out in front 9-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. to the home half of the sixth. Hoppers with a wide lead of 9. It'll be Wesley Jones, Brian Davis, Bryce Peterson, the 2-3-4 hitters due up as Sam Cottingham Beard out there for his second inning of work. Second pitch of the inning. This one flied out into right center field. Dallas Oliver ranging to his right. One up, one down in the home half of the sixth. Sam Cottingham Beard looking good. Pair of groundouts to second base and a strikeout in the home half of the fifth. He's retired 4 in a row now with the fly out to right.
That was the first time that the Hoppers had been sent down 1-2-3. Spencer Stockton did not do it during his short-lived start of just 4 innings and the 8 earned runs and 9 total runs on 10 hits. Sam Cottingham Beard so far is looking pretty strong.
Brian Davis, meanwhile, standing in, had just his second hit of this season in 20-plus at-bats with the RBI knock in the fourth. Everybody was hitting in that frame against Stockton. Meanwhile, the 84-mile-an-hour changeup in the dirt. Good job by Maltby to keep it in front of him. Doesn't matter, though, as no one's out on the base pass. Sam Cottingham Beard, the Western Illinois University Leatherneck, the 2-0 pitch. Fastball at 92, called strike right down Broadway. Brian Davis taking one there, but he's ready now. Man who's got quite a powerful swing, just hasn't been able to connect hard so far this season as the 2-1 fouled off into the protective netting here behind home plate. Corn 6-1 on the season through their first 7, but it's been all Eastside in this one as they're trying to become just the second team to get 3 wins.
Yep.
As we got 3 teams sitting at 2-win records as 2-2 pitch misses and Davis works the count full.
And we do have that one unfinished game between the Beavers and Hoppers, so one of those teams will pick up a win at some point.
Meanwhile, Davis rung up on strikes. He was ready to toss the bat over there to the third base dugout as he's got a little bit of a grin heading back towards the third base side. But hey, you know what? For the first things first, it's not the MLB. We're not having that small of a strike zone. 2, your team's up 9-0 as we're halfway through this one. Anything close, got to imagine that there are going to be some strikes called more often than not. Let's just say that as Bryce Peterson standing in. He's 0 for 3 on the night. He's got 2 groundouts to third base. Made good contact in that long fourth. It was out there to Coleman Poche in center field, but he had miscued it. Originally made that first step back as you're supposed to, but could not seem to find it. As they always say, the first one back, or the one that's right back at you are the toughest ones when you're a center fielder. So don't want to discredit Poche, but
right.
His 1,000 fielding percentage dwindling down just a bit tonight. Sam Cottingham Beard hitting 90 on that 2-0 pitch, but it doesn't matter as it's upstairs out of the zone. It's now 3-0 on Peterson, trying to get his first hit of the night. Mentioned he was 1 for 2 back on Sunday. Trying to get those numbers up and remain on the roster as at some point, as the 3-0 right down Broadway called for strike 1, at some point in this season, probably right around halfway through, there of course will be cuts made as we've done that throughout all of the seasons at Jimmy John's Field. Once the college season is over, pick up some new names, some new faces, try and spread the talent in this league as the 3-0 count turns into a 3-2 count. Good job by Sam Cottingham Beard to battle back in this one, trying to get his second consecutive 1-2-3 inning.
2 straight fastballs there, working back from that 3-0 count. See what he does on the 3-2.
Payoff pitch, swung on and missed. The breaking ball at 83 miles an hour. Peterson swings right through it. Couple of strikeouts for him. 2 in this inning, 3 in total as we're through 6 at Jimmy John's Field on our WCSX Classic Rock Saturday. 9-0 Hoppers. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the top of the 7th we go. It's been all Eastside in this one. 9-0 your score. Luis Contreras out there for now his 7th inning of work. Through 5 he was perfect. The one blemish on the night, the double to left field off the bat of the Corn third baseman Colin Rideout. But outside of that, he's been literally perfect as Elliott, the 1-0. This one kind of going all over the place. We saw the shortstop Watley, the center fielder Adams, Geely, of course, the second baseman also there, but it's Bryce Peterson who corrals underneath it to make the catch. Elliott is retired on the first try for the Corns in this top of the 7th, but Contreras just dealing 69 pitches through the first 6 frames, 9 strikeouts, no walks, and I'll tell you what, Spencer Stockton, who had that tremendous start, just the last outing where he went to 7 innings, allowed 1 hit with 9 strikeouts. Contreras could do just that much better in this one tonight. As, like I said, just now at 72 pitches here in this 7th. If he goes perfect in this one, would not be surprised to see him come out for the 8th. And then, of course, we'll have that conversation as we get there. As the 80-mile-an-hour breaking pitch left upstairs, McCabe allows this one to even up at 1-1, trying to avoid the dreaded sombrero as he's 0 for 2 with a pair of swing and miss strikeouts in this 3-hole spot. Contreras with that motion. This one well outside as that one slipped out of the hands. Got to imagine he's sweating a little bit as the humidity, probably the most evident it's been so far, and at least most of these night games here, as we've not really been fortunate just yet to get that great summer weather through the first couple of weekends, but we've had our days.
Yep.
As McCabe, the 2-1, ready for it. Contreras continuing to look down at that landing spot. Maybe that was the reason for the last 2 pitches, but he travels right over it. Back to the bump he goes. As he's trying to avoid his first walk of the night, as McCabe, from that left side, had a couple of miscues at the first base bag after going there for Dan Williams. He'll reach base safely, the second base runner of the night for these Unicorns, but the first walk across the stat line there for the right-hander Contreras.
Yeah, those last 3 pitches, not even close. Something we really have not seen so far. He has not missed that many times. There hasn't been too many 3-ball counts, and also just not a lot of hard contact or foul balls overall. Seems like thus far just pretty much untouched except for that double, which ended the no-hitter. We see a mound visit as Congo goes out there just for a quick chat.
Got to imagine just a word of encouragement.
Yeah, take a breath quick.
Yep, everything's going smooth. Pitch count's great. You've only allowed the 2 base runners through, your first, count them, 22 batters now. It's Dallas Oliver standing in, the man who did not make it to the starting lineup, but has technically played about 95% of this game outside of the first inning as he looks at ball 1 to begin this at-bat. Wouldn't have been surprised if Lukongo said, hey, let's go mostly off-speed here to Oliver, as that's what he kind of struggles with, and you're seeing it evident here with back-to-back breakers.
Yeah, that's what he kind of did with him last at-bat, ended up freezing him looking as he went down on strikes. I believe that was an off-speed pitch, probably trying to roll a double play ball right here.
Wouldn't be easy with the amount of speed Oliver has, but he hits the ball hard. 90-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs. Oliver's eyes lit up, but no cigar there as the count goes to 2-1. Contreras sort of slowing it down a bit after the perfect game has been taken out, trying to stay composed now that you're cruising through this one with the 9-run lead. Don't really have much to worry about, but you want to still make your pitches, improve start to start, but I don't know how he's going to get much better than this one the next time he comes around. As Oliver swinging through the last 2. The 2-0 count transitions into the 2-2. Trying to get strikeout number 10 on the night. Contreras won't get it here as Oliver fouls that one off into the protected netting, staying alive for at least one more.
Yeah, and Contreras wants to stay out there as long as possible. We do see a little bit of action right now in the Eastside Diamond Hoppers pen down that left field line. But as Contreras, you want to lower that ERA as much as you can. Stay out there as long as you can. Pitch count is starting to get a little bit up there, but still in control.
82nd pitch of the night. Swung on and missed. Oliver on strikeout number 2 of the night. Double-digit Ks now for Luis Contreras as that pitch count at the moment, taking a quick look as it is at, give me a second, 82 pitches with 2 outs in this 7th. If he can retire Maltby, I would be surprised to not see him come out for at least the 8th. Breaking ball, 71. Textbook stuff there from the right-hander. So not only is the fastball working, but that breaking ball continuing to just marvel us as this one, the breaking ball again, but this one missing upstairs, not much bite on it. As you see, Contreras after the fact, trying to repeat that motion. Got to really pull that curtain down, and he didn't have it on the last one. So 2 different breaking balls we see. Would be shocked to see anything other than a fastball here. There it is, 91, outside black, called strike 2. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to the curveball here. That fastball looked good, but now you're concerned if you're Maltby. You saw 2 breaking balls accompanied by a perfect fastball. Just happy I'm up here in the booth and not in the batter's box because I would have no idea what's coming. And there is something. Looked to be the changeup. Swung on and missed. Maltby is retired. Lukongo finishes off the strikeout. Now 11 of them. For Contreras, we're through 7.5. It's stretch time at Jimmy John's Field. Hoppers up 9-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Through 6.5 at Jimmy John's Field. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. It's been all Eastside in this one. Sam Cottingham Beard, the first reliever out of the Unicorn pen, goes 2 innings. Much better night compared to Stockton. Cottingham Beard, no runs, no hits, no walks. A trio of strikeouts as he now giving way to Andre Sebek, the El Sobrante, California native. Also from Utah Valley University as the 1-0 to Zachary Gray, lined into left field. Underneath it is Elliott for out number 1. Gray on the night now. 1 for 4 with a single that drove in a run. Outside of that, a grounder to the pitcher and a strikeout. So in total, 1 for 4 on the evening. 1 up, 1 down for Sebek, the big fella, 6'5", 230.
Yeah, the right-hander last year, 2018, for Utah Valley University, which is Division I NCAA ball. 11 games, just 1 game started, so used as a relief pitcher, 15 and 1/3 innings. A pretty high 6.46 ERA, but 18 strikeouts and 10 walks. You'd like to see that walk number be a little bit lower, but does strike out over 1 batter per inning. So pretty good strikeout numbers for him.
Yeah, Sebek, the lengthy right-hander, the 1-0 to Davidson. Look, maybe a hair low, but going to give him the benefit of the doubt late in this one with the Hoppers with a commanding 9-0 lead. Sebek on the season, he's made just 1 appearance in relief. It was an inning where he allowed just the 1 hit. It was an extra base hit, a double, but an unblemished category in the run column. The 1-1 backdoor breaker looked good from up here. Maybe a courtesy pitch there from our home plate umpire, Corey Wacker, on the call after that 1-0 pitch that could have went either way. It's 2-1 now as the wind has died down compared to where we were at in the first couple of innings. Davidson ready for the 2-1. No, he's not. Right at the hip as he's in some pain in that left-handed batter's box. Hope to see him get up from this, as looks like he will, but might not see him in this one for the rest of the day. Loving the sportsmanship there from Sebek. No issues between the two as he's limping hard down that first base line. And for a game that's 9-0, still early on in the season, there's no point in keeping him in this one, and that's exactly what the veteran manager, Paul Noche, is going to do. So it looks as if a new man is coming into the baseball game in this one, getting his number as we speak. We take a quick look. Looks to be Ryan McCarrick, number 27, doing the pinch running, as that was a nasty one there. Davidson taking that one kind of right in the middle of the body. You can't, jump out of the way of it. You can't duck out of the way of it. Just kind of got to sit there and take it and hope it gets you with a little bit of fat on it. But tough one there for the China Spring, Texas native, as his night is done, as it'll now be Kevin Watley, the veteran shortstop, 2018 Defensive Player of the Year, standing in for the Hoppers. Not a bad night thus far for the Hoppers, but Watley 0 for 3 with a fly out to right, a pop out to second. Reached on that fielder's choice that ended that long fourth frame. First pitch swinging is Watley. This one into shallow right. And it looks like Benecke taking charge ahead of Oliver there in the shallow grass. 2 outs now on the board. Freddie Geely, the Siena Heights product, trying to make something happen. But in a good night thus far, a pair of singles and a run scored for the second baseman, standing in from the left side.
Yeah, it's a guy that has hit mainly for average in his baseball career. In 2018 with the Siena Heights Saints, 444 average, 14 doubles, all-conference team, a 326 career average during his 4 years there. But 444, hard to beat that. I believe that was the team record for any season.
Yeah, Geely on the website says 5'10", but hey, you know what? Doesn't matter how short you are. You're here and playing professional baseball. Gotta love what we're seeing here is the breaking ball at 74, just missing on that inner third of the plate. Kind of froze up Geely on that one, but in the end, a good eye as the count evens up at 1-1. Davidson over there on the first base bag. No stolen bases to his credit on the season. This pitch, called strike, but not squeezed there by Maltby behind the dish. So home plate umpire Wacker calling it. Something you don't see all that often at this level of baseball, where the catcher can't squeeze it but still getting called the strike. So Geely down in the count, 1-2. Yet to have struck out tonight, but it's in limbo here. Instead, contact made. Pop-up in shallow left field. Looks like Elliott ranging towards the line, but it'll stay in fair territory. Geely is retired. As we head to the 8th, Hoppers get a base runner, but nothing doing on the scoreboard, but they don't need it. They're up by 9 as we head to the 8th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland, Leo Ortzel with you. Coley Curry, Coleman Poche, Colin Rideout coming up to the plate for the Corns to start this 8th. Trying to get some type of offense. None will be had against Luis Contreras, the starter for this one. His day is done, though. A near-perfect night there for the Pembroke Pines Florida native. 7 innings pitched. The right-hander allows no runs on just the 1 hit that came across in the 6th inning. 1 walk allowed, 11 strikeouts. He beats his season high by 1 as he had the 10 strikeouts in 5 innings back on opening night. Meanwhile, Coley Curry down in the count 1-2 to the new arm on the bump. That would be Tyler Tamaka. Curry on the 1-2 pitch, sticks the bat out, makes contact, and gets a base hit as it trails into right field. Tamaka for these Eastside Diamond Hoppers coming to us from South Elgin, Illinois, and Loras College. A good arm out of this bullpen. The closer for the Hoppers, obviously not a safe situation tonight, but they're trying to get as many innings out of this young man as they can. They do play tomorrow, though, against the Woolly Mammoths, so maybe an inning of work for Tamaka to keep him kind of loose, as there is some arms tossing some baseballs around out there in the left field bullpen, as Poche fouling off the first pitch he sees, over 2 on the night with a strikeout and a pop-out.
Yeah, Tamaka definitely a good arm out there for the Diamond Hoppers. A 1.80 earned run average so far this season. Has made 3 appearances, 5 innings, just 2 hits given up, 1 earned run. Has walked 4 batters in 5 innings, but has struck out 7. He was very reliable last year for Loras College, which is Division III NCAA ball. A 1.35 ERA over 26 and 2/3 innings. That one gets to the backstop, and the runner Curry will advance to second.
Wild pitch there for Tamaka, guy who doesn't do that all that often. Doesn't have any wild pitches coming into play tonight, so the first of the year for him. Poche working the count 1-1. Mentioned he didn't have a hit for the whole season through the first 5 games, but through the first 6 games, but did come across for 2 knocks last night in the Corns' victory. Is now down in the count 1-2 is the Georgia Tech product. Poche batting from the right side. Tamaka giving a couple of looks to Curry. Comes back with the 90-mile-an-hour heater upstairs as Poche swings right through it. The leadoff single and then wild pitch leads to the first out. Colin Rideout, the man with the only hit coming into this inning. Up to the plate here, 1 for 2 with a double and a fly out to left.
It definitely has not been the same story offensively for the Unicorns, but nice to see Rideout continuing his success. 2 hits last night, already a double, which broke up the no-hitter, as you said, Rich. 1 for 2.
This one fought off into left field. It's Davidson underneath it. 1 pitch, and the out is recorded. Barely having to move out there and left. Davidson makes the catch with ease. So 2 outs now come across the board. Guzman now standing in. If my name is Patrick Adams, I'd be ready for one here, as Guzman with a pair of flyouts to center field as a massive helicopter just flew over the park. Not sure what that's for. Kind of looked like a military helicopter. But that's a story for another day, as Guzman, that 3 for 4 night yesterday, bringing the batting average up 93%. Up there, 211 to 304 as he looks at ball 1 to start off this AB. Tamaka looking sharp in this one. The heater looks good. Fouled off the bat and looked like it's off of Lakongo's knee, as home plate umpire Corey Wacker respectively given time to the man that's been protecting him all night. But to go back to the start there for Contreras, Leo, we knew how he started the season in his USPBL debut with the double-digit strikeouts on opening night in just 5 innings, but coming back from that outing against the Mammoths where he allowed 3 earned runs in just 4 innings, had only 6 strikeouts compared to the 10 and 11 in his other 2 outings. hoping to see more of that Luis Contreras the rest of the way.
Definitely.
Guzman fouls off the third pitch of the at-bat. It's 1-2.
And that first start for Contreras, excellent start with those 10 strikeouts over 5, 2 earned runs. So really, this is the best we've seen Contreras. Finally worked past the 5th inning, works in and finishes the 7th with just the 1 hit and the 1 walk. His command was there all night long, not only with his fastball, but his off-speed stuff, able to place it where he wanted to.
And would you look at that, Leo, for the 3rd consecutive time. Sometimes this broadcasting stuff is fun when you can speak something into fruition, and for the 3rd consecutive time, Guzman flies out to center field. We're through 7.5 at the ballpark. Hoppers with, I'm guessing, their last tries at the plate tonight. They lead at 9-0. We head to the home half of the 8th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the home half of the 8th we go. Hoppers with the commanding 9-0 lead as the day is done for Andre Sebek. Goes the inning, no runs, no hits, no walks, no strikeouts. Did hit a batter, but a pair of flyouts to left and a pop out to second retired the Hoppers in just 4 at-bats in the home half of the 8th. Only one man for the Hoppers offense has reached base safely in the last 3 frames, so it's been a good night from the bullpen from the Corns.
Definitely.
As now the left-hander on this roster, the only one, that is Mitch Williams, making his 4th relief appearance on the season for these Utica Unicorns. Is this one on a line, making making almost a catch on the run as he careens into the left field wall was Dan Elliott. Even though the contact was made with the leather, he was in a full sprint, and as it goes up on the boards, it does in fact go down in the books as a base knock. So Lacongo with his 2nd hit of the night gives the Hoppers more life here in this home half of the 8th. But as I was saying, Williams with his 4th appearance on this season, just 2 hits allowed in 3 innings, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. The left-hander with the nasty stash out there, the California native, trying to make something happen in this bullpen, looking to be a surefire arm out of this back end of the staff here for these Unicorns, trying to get things done and work on his stuff because, of course, not really a motive here with the team down 9-0 in the later part of this game.
And like you mentioned before, the relievers have done an excellent job. Sam Cottingham-Beard, Andre Sebek out of the pen. Now Mitch Williams will look to pick up where they left off. Mitch Williams, a product out of Los Angeles, California. In college, in 2017, 18 and 1/3 innings, a 2.45 ERA, and back in 2016, a 1.93 ERA at Azusa Pacific University.
That's a tough one. I was looking at it, and I didn't even want to try, so glad you did first.
I almost didn't, but I had to give it a shot.
Yeah, it's one of the tougher ones we've seen as the lefty-lefty matchup. See who it favors. To Adams on the night thus far. Tremendous against the starter, Stockton. Against Stockton tonight, home run, single, walk, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored for Adams, but since then, just a ground out to second base as the 2-1 pitch evens the count up at 2-2. Breaking ball, a near perfect pitch in terms of the approach. It wasn't a strike, but one of those pitches that starts in the strike zone and as it's traveling across home plate kind of dips up out of it. And that's a good eye there from Adams as he doesn't chase after it. We'll see what Williams brings this time around. Fastball, not a fastball, looked straight from up here in the booth, but just 79 miles an hour, so maybe a change up there, yeah. Exactly, from the lefty. But a good battle for Adams. Second time he's worked the count full in this one. Williams, the payoff pitch, fastball at 86. So maybe that was a fastball, as that one looked straight. That was upstairs. We'll have to keep tabs on the miles per hour there for Williams. He is a lefty, so maybe not more known for the speed, as 2 runners reach base safely with still no outs on the board. Wesley Jones, another one of those men who had a great night when Stockton was out on the mound. 2 singles, a hit by pitch, 2 runs scored, stolen base. But since then, fly out to right field as the first pitch looking, and it's starting to see as if Williams is struggling to get in that strike zone as we don't see any unicorns getting loose out there in the stable.
That command does not seem to be there. They definitely want him to finish this inning, save a few more arms for later in the week as they are down by 9. Not a lot of hopes to come back here. Wesley Jones, who's standing in some affiliated experience, as we mentioned before, in the Colorado Rockies organization, had a good 2016 year, 302 with the Boise Hawks, but he was injured back in 2017, missed the whole season, then he was released in the spring of 2018. And good to see him with a multi-hit game here, entered with just a 208 batting average, and now 2 for 3, also hit by a pitch, so reached 3 times.
Williams trying to find the zone, does there. Jones, with that affiliated experience, like plenty of gentlemen in this league, trying to make it back there. It's been mainly pitching through the first couple of weekends, but offense has shown up here in this third weekend as rounding third, headed for home is Lacongo. Getting over there to third, of course, is Adams, and sliding in safely with the double. Third hit of the night for Jones, drives in the run, and the Hoppers now with double-digit runs. It's 10-0. Williams struggling here in this home half of the ninth, home half of the 8th.
And Sam Cottingham Beard and Andre Sebic, as we mentioned, 3 scoreless innings combined between them. So this is the first run that the Hoppers have scored since their monstrous 4th inning, in which they put up 6 runs. So most of their runs have come in bunches so far. 2 in the 3rd, 6 in the 4th, and a chance for a couple more here. No outs, and 2nd and 3rd for Brian Davis.
We were wondering exactly if this one was going to be able to beat the duration.
Yeah.
As last night's game between the Beavers and the Unicorns lasted just 2 hours and 10 minutes. This game started at 7:01. We're now at the 2:04 mark. We were wondering if it was going to be able to make the record, but instead it looks like Mitch Williams is going to prolong this one a bit as the count now 1-2 on Davis. The kick, the push, breaker fouled off. Davis staying alive for at least one more.
Maybe not able to beat the time, but still, despite 10 runs, it has been a pretty short game. There was only 4 runs total yesterday in that 4-0 win for the Unicorns, so a lot more hits and runs overall.
Davis continuing to battle Fouls off another one. JJ, the field general, joining us up here in the press box like he normally does towards the latter part of games. And I mention that because for those that hadn't heard yet, it's going to be a house full of dogs tomorrow as it's Bark in the Park, presented, of course, by our friends at Happy Tales Learning Center. They've been the home for JJ in our off-season as he was getting trained, as a third consecutive foul ball is hit there off the bat of Davis. Not only that, but K9 Divine, another sponsor for the game tomorrow. Also Sunday Fun Day, so lots of dogs, lots of kids will be in attendance tomorrow as we'll have a pre-Memorial Day Sunday afternoon game. Davis trying to continue the stretch offensively for the Hoppers in this frame as the front door breaking ball misses the zone just a bit low and the count ranges full. There is an open base over there at first, but if you're Mitch Williams, you want to get out of this inning as soon as you can. Breaking ball, and for the second time tonight, Davis is rung up consecutively. He is definitely not thrilled with that call and sort of a victim of the situation with the 10-run lead.
Yeah.
That zone widening, I should say, late in this contest. Williams struggling, but gets the benefit of the doubt on that pitch. First out of the frame against the fourth batter of the inning, Peterson. Now standing in 0-for-4 on the night. Pair of groundouts to third, a swing and miss strikeout. Reached and came in to score after he hit the line drive to center field that was misplayed by Poche. First pitch looking. That one misses the zone. Mitch Williams continuing to struggle in this one. This one popped up out of play it goes. The count even at 1-1 now as Williams doing everything he can to make a name for himself on this Utica roster. Mentioned coming into the action, had 3 relief appearances, and his ERA was at 0.00. So kind of an off night here for the left-hander as Skip Essien, guessing, was trying to just, continue to get some innings. As I know you mentioned earlier about how they were maybe trying to save arms, but believe it or not, they actually don't play the rest of the weekend, as I'm sure you might have checked after the fact. But hey, you know what? You got to love the respect as there's still no men getting loose in that right field bullpen for the Corns. So Essien going to stick with his guy here at least for the 8th. Of course, probably won't have a bottom of the 9th in this one. So just going to try and limit the damage as much as you possibly can and get out of here as soon as possible as Bryce Peterson works the count even at 2-2. Williams desperately trying to get the second out. Would be the second consecutive strikeout in the tough frame, but the 2-2 just missing by a hair. As you saw the home plate umpire, Corey Wacker, kind of freeze for a second, thought about it, but allows Peterson to work the count full. Payoff pitch will ensue.
And Peterson's got to be swinging if it's close. Take a note from Brian Davis's last at bat.
And there it is, the breaking ball. Looked to be a pinch high, but close enough. And you said it, Leo. Got to protect on anything near that zone. Williams is going to have to toss another one here to the right-hander.
And at this point in the game, you're definitely not looking for a walk. They're not looking for base runners. You're looking to up your batting average, give your team a few more runs.
Peterson, meanwhile, sticking the bat out, staying alive for at least one more. Williams taking his time as Peterson getting back into the box. 10 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. The payoff pitch. Line drive into left field. Over there is Williams. Elliott. As Peterson delivers. Pat Adams coming in to score. Count it now 11. Runs on the board for Team Eastside. And now there is somebody going out there tossing a little bit for the Unicorns. And we've been cruising for every bit of this game outside of this little bit right here. We had the long home half of the fourth when the Hoppers got 6 runs on 5 hits, accompanied by an error, but got to be fortunate to be sitting here in the home half of the 8th inning at just 9:11 on the hour with 11 runs coming in to score in this ballgame.
Now, this is exactly what the Hoppers needed to come out and do tonight. They came in with a good team ERA overall at 2.86, which will be lowered, of course, after this game, thanks to an incredible start from Luis Contreras, but just a 182 batting average entering with 1 home run. And they have now matched their 11 RBIs coming into this game in this one. So, pretty impressive offensive performance, finally, for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, who have been struggling. You're seeing all parts of the lineup get it done from top to bottom. So, Paul Noce definitely has to be happy, and they've put up a few here in the 8th, and still with another chance to strike with Zach Gray. Gray so far, RBI single back in the 3rd. That's his only hit. 1 for 4 on the night.
In total, as he looks at ball 2 now, he's got kind of a variety of outs so far tonight. A ground out to the pitcher, a strikeout via the swing and the miss, and a fly out to left field. So trying to make something happen in every which way, but only the single back in the 3rd was the part of success on the night for the Henderson State product, as 3-0 called for strike 1. Tough night here for Mitch Williams and the Utica Unicorns. 3-1. Breaking ball at 3-1. Hey, sometimes that's what you got to do. Fastball command has been almost non-existent, as a fan making a lucky catch, or should I say not so lucky, is showing of athleticism out there, and baseball turning into a souvenir in a moment's notice. Meanwhile, Gray working the 3-2 count. It's past the first baseman. Diving over there is McCabe. Coming in to score is Jones. Over there to second is Peterson. Back-to-back RBI singles for the Hoppers as the onslaught continues. It's 12-0 Eastside, and unfortunately Mitch Williams is not going to be able to make it through this 8th. Just the 1 out against the 6 batters that he faces, as Ryan McCarrick will try and get his first try up at the plate after he was replacing Davidson, who got hit by the pitch in the last inning. We'll take a quick break, give you the line for Williams, and let you know who's coming in to pitch when we come back. 12-0 Hoppers breaking the action here in the home half of the 8th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. into the action we go as Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. The day's done for Williams. Was going to say it would have been tough to have a tougher night than Spencer Stockton, who did allow 8 earned runs in the 4 innings pitched, but Williams goes just a third of a frame coming into this 8th inning, allows 2 earned runs on 4 hits, didn't walk anybody, did have a strikeout, but the combination of those 4 hits and then a hit by pitch, but the biggest thing, the command was just nearly non-existent as the new arm coming in, one of the more reliable men out of this bullpen, and Albert Neff, the Deltona, Florida native, coming in to try and end this miserable night for Jim Essien and the Corns.
Yeah, so far Neff on the season, a 3.38 ERA. He's making his 4th appearance, has so far pitched in 8 innings, given up 10 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 total runs overall, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So pretty good numbers, maybe a little bit higher of a hit total than he would have liked. Has previous experience in professional baseball with the Pecos League. The California City Whiptails was the team that he pitched for last season. 23 games, 55 innings, 4-0 record, 3.44 ERA. With 72 strikeouts in those 55 innings, he strikes out the first batter, Ryan McCarrick, who was just making his first appearance as a hitter in this game as he came in for Caleb Davidson after he was hit by a pitch. So a good start to the outing for Neff.
So Neff forces Davidson to swing and miss for out number 2. Quickly taking care of him. Standing in now, Kevin Watley. One of the best gloves I've ever seen in my 24 years. As, of course, mentioned, we'll continue to mention, the 2018 USPBL Defensive Player of the Year, but trying to get that average up, has been able to do so tonight. 0 for 4 with a fly out to right, a pair of pop-outs to second base. So he's at least got the right approach, trying to take the ball the opposite way to try and get more contact compared to having some power. But the results just haven't been able to get there for him tonight, as the rest of the team has been able to be pretty darn successful. I'm taking a quick look through the lineup card here, and yeah, Watley, the only batter in this lineup to not get a base knock or even reach base safely, as technically he got on via the fielder's choice in that long 4th, but it was to end the inning. So that's a tough night for Watley as he goes down via the strikeout here for the first time tonight, as it's 12-0 Hoppers. To the 9th we go. Corns need a miracle in this one. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the 9th we go. It's been all Eastside in this one. Corns with just 2 hits in the contest. Not a soul has been able to get over to third base. Rideout, who broke up the perfect game in the 6th. Contreras going the 7 innings, allowing just the 1 hit. Other than that, a single from Coleman Poche led off the top of the 8th inning, but then 3 straight putouts by Tamaka. Strikeout, a lineout, and a flyout brings us to this top of the 9th inning. Kyle Benecke up there. Let's work the 1-1 count as we get into this final frame. Backdoor pitch, outside corner, called strike 2. Benecke taking an extra second to get back into this one. Not sure if he's more mad at himself or maybe thought that pitch was a bit controversial, but absolutely nothing to argue when your team's down 12-0 and have just 2 hits on the night, contrary to the 14 there for your opposition, as the Hoppers with the most runs in a game for any team so far this season. Remember how the Westside Woolly Mammoths put up double digits with that 10 spot this past Thursday, just a couple of nights ago. Ground ball chopped over to the right side, almost going over Geely, but look at that reaction, playing that baseball perfectly. As I actually spoke with a family friend of mine who has a Little League team / Fed ball team in the area, and Geely is actually involved with them.
Okay.
It's one of their mentors, and
very nice.
I was talking with my good friend there, Hunter Foster, who said that Freddie Geely's got some of the quickest hands he's ever seen, as he made that tough play look fairly easy, and a tip of the cap there from Tyler Tamaka. As
he's got some
Benecke.
knobs too.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And that's what you want to do as a defender. You got to watch the ball all the way into the glove. You'll see time and time again a guy I think it's just routine, and especially on an infield like this, which we always talk about, the longer grass, you got to watch that ball all the way into your glove. And that's exactly what Geely was able to do right there.
Elliott ready for the 1-1. Fastball down Broadway, 90 miles an hour, called strike 2. Not necessarily sure what Elliott was looking for there. You're down 12 runs in this last frame. You know that your team's out of this game, as you know there's really no clock in baseball, but I'll tell you right here and now, needed more than a miracle to try and get back in this one, as the 1-2 flied out to left field. It'll be the second out of the frame. Tamaka trying to get a perfect 9th, as we're used to saying stuff like that. Did have the leadoff walk in the 8th in this 2-inning affair for him. But Larry McCabe standing in now from the left side. Corns down to their final out.
Yeah, and the Unicorns, like we've said, their offense just not the same as it was yesterday. They have not had more than 4 hitters bat in 1 inning. 4 hitters in back-to-back innings in the 7th and 8th, but obviously Contreras was perfect through 5.
This one over to the first base bag. It'll be Zachary Gray to put out the Unicorns in this final inning. It is victorious night for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. They blank the Utica Unicorns, who have just their 2nd loss of the season through 8 games. Hoppers going to 500, moving up to 3-3 in the standings for 2nd place. So they pick up a game in this East Division against the Utica Unicorns. Overall, the story of the night, Luis Contreras taking the perfect game through the first 5 and 3rd innings, as he gets through 16 batters with no issue. Had 9 strikeouts through the first 16 batters he faced, but it was Colin Rideout who broke up the perfect game back in that 6th inning, and then it was just Coleman Poche who was able to get another hit. For as great as this season has gone for Lancelot and these Unicorn players, a really big blemish on the early start to the season, but you got to be happy if you're Paul Nochi in all facets of this one. Your guy, Luis Contreras, with his 3rd start of the season, moving his record, of course, up to now 2-1. That ERA that was sitting at 5 coming into the action tonight through the first 9 innings, dwindling down without a doubt. But just 1 walk, 11 strikeouts in this one. Leo, your thoughts on the dominant pitching performance from the Pembroke Pines, Florida native.
Yeah, the best we've seen Contreras so far, just that much better than opening night. 7 innings, finally able to work beyond 5 innings. Came in with just 9 innings overall on 2 starts, the 5 in the first start, the 4 in the second. He goes 7, like you said, 11 strikeouts. And just overall, this Hoppers team offensively finally with the outbreak, 11 runs. Came into this game with just 11 runs batted in. They have 11 runs batted in here in this victory, another shutout. And it is the second time that the Hoppers have beat the Corns, the only team to beat the Unicorns thus far. They'll move to 6-2. The previous matchup was back on Sunday, May 12th. Hoppers won 4-1 in that one, so they've pitched very well against probably the best offense we've seen in the league. They've pitched well against them twice. So Paul Noche has to love this performance. 12-0 victory for Eastside against Utica.
Coming into tonight's action, the Hoppers with a 182 batting average, but that will clearly rise as they get 12 runs on 14 hits in this Saturday night contest. It'll be a day dedicated to the Pups tomorrow as we will see these Hoppers in action again against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Got to imagine that'll be goatsies tomorrow for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. In terms of the Westside Woolly Mammoths, we saw, of course, Philip Walby doing the pitching in the game on Thursday. Got to imagine it will be either Clifton Landis III or maybe even Thomas Murator, who I heard does a little bit of both relieving and starting. So I heard his name in the conversation, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him start in the contest tomorrow. But this was a good one. It started at 7:01, gets done right at 9:26. So in total, a 2-hour and just 25-minute contest. It was a fun one. Luis Contreras, the star of the show, accompanied by the 14 hits for the Hoppers, give this the 3rd victory of the season for Paul Noche's staff, but we'll be back in action tomorrow afternoon, right at about 12:50. We'll get started with pregame. As for my broadcasting partner, Leo Ortel, my name's Rich Borland. You stay classy, Utica.